Hey YouTubers, Will Chapman here with Backyard Smokin and Grillin. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. Hopefully we're getting toward the end of this pandemic thing and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel here, hopefully. But anyway, got another video for you here. One of the things I wanted to do with this channel is do some of the things that I'm used to doing, that I have experience doing, that are kind of my go-to things that I do for grilling and smoking. But then also, I wanted to do some things that I've never done. For whatever reason, I wanted to try, but I didn't. And, life tends to get in the way and you don't do things that you want to do, but got the time to do that now. So that's what we're going to try to do on these and some of the later videos. And meantime, in this video, what we're going to be doing is one of my go-to dishes, and it's ridiculously easy to grill. It's pork tenderloin. It's the other white meat. What we're going to do is we're going to get it prepped in the kitchen, then we'll get it in a very simple marinade, only 2 ingredients, and then we'll get it on the grill. We're going to have direct heat and indirect heat. We'll sear it on all sides on the direct heat, then we'll move it back off to the indirect heat, get the lid on the grill, and we're going to use you can see it back there, my Weber, because it's a great grill and it's really versatile. And we'll get it seared, we'll pull it back off that, we'll get it to the correct internal temperature, and it'll be tender and juicy and delicious. So nothing to it, and you'll see. Because if I can do it, you can do it, and that's for sure. But first of all, we got to get the meat prepped. There's usually some silver skin on the pork tenderloin that we want to definitely get off of it before we get it in the marinade. We'll get it going that way, but let's head to the kitchen and get it prepped, so I'll see you in there. Okay guys, here we are. We've got the tenderloin ready to go. We're going to trim it up. I've got my glove on, got a good sharp knife. I've had it in the freezer for about 20-30 minutes. You'll find it's much easier to trim a piece of meat, whether it's a brisket, a pork butt, ribs, whatever it is, if it's really cold. When it gets warm, it gets soft, it kind of gets mushy, and it makes it harder to trim. It's much easier to trim when it's really good and cold. And this is almost frozen, so it should trim really nicely. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, as you can see, it's got a little bit of fat on it here in a couple of places. I'm not that worried about it, but I'm going to go ahead and trim it off anyway. This would just probably render down, no problem. But this silver skin is a problem. This is what we need to get rid of right here. You can see here there's none here. On the back side there's none. There's a little bit of subcutaneous fat here, but again, I'm not that worried about this. It'll render off during the cooking. But we do definitely need to get rid of this silver skin here. And it's not hard to do. You just need a really good sharp knife. See, like that's fat right there. I'm not worried about that. But I definitely want to get this silver skin, and this is where a sharp knife really comes in. You can see, you'll take a little bit of meat with it, but that's perfectly fine. If you lose a little bit of meat, that's no big deal. And I'm going to kind of just go along little small pieces at a time. Like I said, you get a little bit of meat with it, but that's okay. The main thing is, see, we get down to the meat, and that means our marinade is going to penetrate, and it's going to cook down, it's going to render out, and it's going to be tender and juicy, and that's what you want. The big thing is, if you get the majority of it away from the meat, then you're not going to have any trouble with the marinade penetrating and flavoring your meat really well. All right, and there we are. Now we're going to get it in a Ziploc with the marinade. Okay guys, we got it trimmed up good. We're going to go ahead and get it in the gallon Ziploc here and get the marinade going. Let me get this out of the way and the cutting board out of the way. Get this glove off. And the reason I like those is because it means I don't have to wash my hands 20 times. But anyway, here we go. All I've got, and it's only 2 ingredients, it's as easy as it can be. There's a 1/4 cup of soy sauce and a 1/4 cup of just plain old yellow mustard. That's literally all it is. All you need is just those 2 ingredients. There's really nothing to it. And I know what you're thinking. It's going to taste like mustard. No, it's not. I promise it's not. It's going to taste like a really good tart soy sauce blend, and for some reason they just go together really well. I don't get it. When the first time my friend told me about this, I said, "You're nuts. It's going to taste like a hot dog from the ballpark." And he laughed. He said, "Trust me, you got to try it." So I do like to add a couple of things myself, and this is personal preference. You don't have to do this, but I do like to add some fresh ground pepper in here. You don't need any additional salt with all the soy sauce in it. And the other thing I do like to add is just a little bit of sriracha, because I really like the flavor. And I'm talking maybe a teaspoon, or probably not even that, maybe just about a half a teaspoon. And that's it. And what we're going to do, let me get all the air out, or as much of it as you can out of it. And just mush that all around. Get the pepper, get the sriracha in there. And now all we're going to do, and it's ridiculously easy, is we're going to get it in the fridge and marinate it for about 2 to 4 hours at least. 6 hours would be even better. Overnight, I wouldn't go much past that, but we're going to get it in there for at least 2 hours. It's 3 o'clock here. I think I can marinate it for about 3.5 hours or so, and then we'll get it on the grill. But right now, we'll get it in the fridge. We'll turn it a couple of times in the fridge, so make sure marinade gets on everything evenly, and then we'll get it on the grill. So now that comes the hard part, and the only hard part of this whole cook, and that's the waiting.
Well, we're waiting.
Okay guys, we got our charcoal ready here. We've got hot side for charring our meat on one side. We're going to have a cooler side on this end. I'm going to go ahead. I want to get the grate on there and get it heating up before we actually get the tenderloin on there, and that way we'll get some nice color, nice grill marks on it, and it'll be ready to go here in just a minute. Okay, we've been letting the charcoal go for a few minutes to heat up the grilling grate, and it should be nice and hot right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get the lid off here, and I'm going to give it a good spray of oil. Alright, with that good and hot, we're going to go ahead and adjust the camera angle so you can see a little better, and I'm going to get the meat on, and hopefully we'll have a really good sizzle on this, and we should be able to get a really nice crust on this. Oh yeah, that's a nice sizzle on that. So now it's just a matter of giving it a minute or two on each side, and we'll have it ready. And we'll move it. We've got the hot side here. I'll move it, back over to the cool side, get the lid on it, and we'll start checking the temperature. Alright, that's starting to look pretty good already. We'll get it on all sides, and once we do that, we'll move it over here to the cooler side, get the lid on it, and finish cooking it that way. Okay guys, it's starting to get some really nice color. On the third side now, and we'll get this side a little browned, and then we'll move it over to the cool side and get the lid on it, and we'll finish cooking it. Won't be too much longer now. Okay guys, it's looking really good. It's got some really good color on it now. So I'm going to back it off to the cooler side of the grill over here, and I'm actually going to put just a couple of wood chips on there to get a little smoke. because why wouldn't you? And there we go. And where the fire is over here and the meat is over here, I put the vent right over the meat so it'll draw the wood or the heat and the smoke right over the meat. We've got a ways to go. I took the temperature and it was about 80 degrees, so we've got a little while on the cook. We're going to try to get it to about 155. Okay guys, I've taken the temperature a couple of times. I think we're ready. It should be about 155. Coming right around 152. 152. And 156 there, so I think we're about right. I'm going to go ahead and pull it, and then it can finish cooking when we cover it and let it rest. So let's go ahead and get it off the heat here. I don't know if you can see that, but look at the color on that. It really looks good. And we're going to get it covered, and we're going to let it rest for about 15 to 20 minutes because it's super hot right now, and that should finish it cooking. And then we're going to slice it up and we're going to eat it. It's going to be great. See you in a few. Okay guys, it's been about 15 minutes. It should be up to the finishing temperature. A little carryover cooking while it's under the aluminum foil, but it's time to give this dude a taste. I'm ready to get at it. It smells great. So let's cut it up and let's take a look. Oh, it's looking really juicy here, guys. Hope you can see that. Let's cut her open here. It looks like it's done perfectly. Get a nice little slice off here for me. It's really juicy. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's very juicy. Cut me off a little slice and you get a taste of this. You get some of the smokiness, you can't taste mustard. You get a little bit of the saltiness from the soy sauce. You just get a little tang from the mustard, and that's all. But it's a really good combination. You still get a lot of the pork flavor. It's very tender. It's such a tender cut. It's just really good. I hope you can see that nice little crust on the outside. That's very good. It could actually probably have gone longer. 5 or 6 hours. It went about 3 hours. I'd say about 6 would be ideal. But anyway, guys, you can feed a lot of people. I've got at least 8 to 10 more slices left on this. You can feed a bunch of people with these. You can do 2 or 3 and feed a whole mob with the good sides. But please give this a try. You saw how easy it was. Anybody can do it. 2 simple ingredients on the marinade. You can add more if you want, but nothing to it. Just takes a little time. But please give it a try. If you like my content, I hope you do. I've got a lot more videos planned. Hit like and subscribe. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Tell the people in your life that you love them, and I'll catch you on the next video. Enjoy, and see you next time. Take care.